Stereo podcast. I am super excited as we head to the end of Women's History Month to acknowledge and have on with me just another incredible woman making just so much great noise. I am with Jamie Lynch from OG8, which stands for Original 8. You've had one of the most unique journeys, I think, of anybody that I have had on the cast, not only from a female-fronted band, but really from any band that I've spoken to, because you've got this incredible group of people behind you. You didn't start the band. Troy Willaver, who's the guitar player, amazing guitar player in your band, actually started the band and had the idea of, wow, it would just be amazing to have some wild female energy in this band. So first of all, Jamie, welcome. And let's talk a little bit about how you and Troy met, because you've had an interesting journey, grew up, born one place, grew up another place, then went to Vegas to kind of stake your claim in entertainment. So how did you hook up with Troy?
Yeah. Well, hello, Terrie, and thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. So as far as meeting Troy, the creator of OG8, back in 2023, we had a mutual friend. I still am in Vegas. I'm based in Vegas, and I'm performing out here. So at the time I was performing out here, we had a mutual friend that was also in the industry. And so Troy Willaver reached out to him because he was looking for a female lead singer for this project that he was putting together, and contacted our friend who's also named Troy as well, contacted Vegas Troy and said, "Hey, do you know anyone, female singers?" And he's like, "Sure, of course. I know, a few." So he sent him my information, and we got on the phone with each other and spoke with each other. And then Troy ended up coming out with his beautiful wife, Mary, and some of the other guys from the band. They came out and saw a show that I was doing out in Vegas and saw me perform. And then after that, it was just like, okay, let's do this thing. And I asked him, can I write original music? Because that's what I was really interested in. And he said, absolutely. So I said, okay, let's go.
He had this kind of foresight of thought to hear in his mind who he wanted in the band. And the band is big and the band has an amazing sound. There's a little bit of everything. The thing that first caught me was that guitar, because I'm a mad hatter for guitar distortion. You've got some great keys. The rhythm section is crazy. And then you come in with these sort of unbridled vocals that are based in rock, although a metal fan could really, really love this. A country fan could also really love this music. Somebody who's into R&B.
Mm.
I mean, there's not a boundary. And I've spoken to a lot of people recently about boxes, because I was a radio programmer for so many years and everything has to be in boxes. Well, this is just fringe of what we should be playing. There's always somebody in a suit counting beans to tell you that this is what you should be playing. And I love that this is just a melting pot of music is music is music. Talk to me about the day that you realized, you know what, I'm not just a performer, because you started out as a dancer and acting and stuff. When did you know you could sing? Because you're not just a singer. You have an incredible voice and a great deliverer of these songs. So talk to me a little bit about the day that you opened your mouth and said, wow, something cool is coming out here.
Oh, thank you. First of all, thank you so much. I appreciate that. As you mentioned, I did grow up dancing and acting mainly. So I did a little bit of singing, but that really wasn't my focus growing up. I moved to Vegas and started dancing in a production show out here at the Stratosphere at the time, a million years ago. And so I started out as a professional dancer, and I had a desire to sing. I think I always kind of secretly wanted to be a singer, but it just, for some reason, I was so caught up in the dance and everything else that it wasn't like, I didn't think that that was my avenue. But when I moved to Vegas and started dancing in shows, I was like, okay, let me learn how to use my voice. And so I started taking some vocal lessons and trying to really, get into the instrument and figure it out. And it took me a minute, it did take me a minute to kind of make that transition from being known as a professional dancer in Vegas to now I'm going to sing, So that took me a second to kind of figure that out. But once I did, it's been, I've been singing in Vegas ever since. But I don't think there was one moment where I was like, oh yeah, I got this, because it was definitely a work in progress. It took me many years to kind of hone the skill and of course, get to where I am now because
And
I've
a
been doing
singer
it
and a
now.
front woman is very different. You're doing both.
Yes.
So you're the
Yeah.
singer and you're also the front woman. I don't think there's ever anything better that can prepare you for being a front woman than being a Vegas performer. That's such a natural transition. Did you have any trepidation about joining a band? I mean, because you're such a beautiful woman and you're super talented. You could have gone out and been any kind of a solo artist. Anybody would have taken you and said, "Oh, we can do this with you," or put you here, or put you there, or build a band around you. Did you have any trepidation about being sort of a band member? Because this seems like a very equally dispersed unit of people who all have the same goal in mind for not only the kind of music that they want to create, but sort of the way that they want to live their lives. I mean, I may be wrong about that, but I can sense that vibe. So, what was your feeling going in and being a part of that unit?
Yeah. So initially, when I first joined, it was kind of more like I'm going to come in and do a few songs with them as a featured artist. But then once I came in and we got going, we're like, oh, we might have something here. So let's make this something else. And so that's when we kind of decided to actually like be the band and do an album and just have it be that. As far as having any trepidation, I think I was just so excited about the thought of being able to write and record original music because I have been in Vegas for so long performing and doing covers and other people's stuff and then in production shows, it's very structured. You go here, you stand here for this lighting cue or you wear this costume. And so I really enjoyed even doing a cover band in Vegas because it allowed me a sense of freedom that I didn't find necessarily doing in production shows for that reason. So when Troy approached and said, "Yes, let's do some original music," I was like, "Hell yeah, let's give it a go here." And that excited me. And not to and as you mentioned, this group of people is just so amazing. The musicians are so seasoned and just insane musicians, first of all, musically. And then on top of that, they're all just really cool, great people. And so we're all friends and it's just a good vibe. And you're correct in saying that we want to do things our way and not be put in a box necessarily, because we all come from different musical backgrounds. And so you do hear that in the album is there's a lot of different references and influences by all of us and the country and the rock and there's all kinds of stuff going on in OG8. And I think that's what makes us different and creative and we wanted to do it our way. And that was very important when Troy put this band together and he and I spoke was that we wanted to do this in a way where we were not being told or put in a box or told, hey, you have to do it this way or you have to make this song this way. So Troy created a label and put the group together, and we all decided collectively that this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it
Yeah.
our way.
I talk to a lot of artists too about DIY. And when I say DIY, I don't want people to think like that you're home in your basement, crafting stuff like doing crafts. I don't mean it that way. I think there's a different sort of mantra with artists that I've spoken to, especially female artists, which I think is really wild. A lot of female metal artists are like, well, yeah, we just have this great producer because I hit him up on social media and said, "Hi, will you produce our record? I'm a really hard worker. Here's what I can offer you." And they got back to me and said, "Yeah, you're super talented." Like, I love that sky's the limit. I love that. Well, we don't know if anybody's going to work as hard for us as we will. So we're going to start our own label. I think there's a time now of this creative freedom. And while it may be a little harder, I think the reward at the end is greater. I don't think you need a record label to do the things that you maybe did in the 1990s or the 2000s or the 1980s. It's a freer time. So, what has that been like for you as an artist? I mean, this has got to be such an exciting time for you. You're in this band, the musicians are super talented around you. You're super talented. You guys have your own label thing that you're working with. It's the sky's kind of the limit here for you as a creative artist.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. I think that, with the internet, it's really opened up opportunity for people to not have to have a label like back in the day, where you couldn't get any distribution or anything if you didn't have a record deal or some type of distribution deal. Now, with the internet, you can create your own music. You have many platforms you can showcase on, you can connect with people like those producers. So I totally agree with you that it's definitely changed. And I think it's allowed a lot of freedom for artists to take back the control a little bit of, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put it out there because I like it,
Yeah.
and I don't have the label down my throat saying, oh, gotta do it
And
this way.
having good people in your wheelhouse, because you can't do it completely alone. There has to be sort of a team of people around you, somebody who helps a little bit as the publicist or helps as this or helps as that. So that is really, I think, the most important thing for artists to know now is yes, you can do it yourself. You got to work your ass off. You always had to work your ass off, but having good people around you is so incredibly important. So I want to talk about the record, obviously, and this song that is just so empowering. And I want to talk about sort of the crossroads for like a song about female empowerment, which you kind of said in the beginning. It has a couple of different meanings, really. Woman, W.O.M.A.N. It's really about taking your power back. So
Yeah.
I don't think I think it's a gender, kind of neutral song. It's about anybody taking their power back. At the end it says like I am woman recognized, and I think that everybody's voice wants to be recognized and heard. But of course, I look at it from somebody who's been in the music industry for a really, really long time as a female empowerment song. It's something that I connected with immediately because there've definitely been some peaks and valleys, and there are for women a path I chose. I could have walked out, never did. I was like, who cares? Let it roll off my back. But looking back, at the however many years, 30 years I was programming radio stations, um, it's really hard to get your seat at the table. And I think this song talks about getting your seat at the table. So was this sort of, and it's kind of like Troy was really the brainchild too of this song, which I find it very interesting that it came from his perspective, also being a woman. So talk to me a little bit about W.O.M.A.N.
Yes. So that song in particular, Troy and I, the way that we collaborate, usually he'll come up with a, guitar riff, an idea for a chorus or a verse or whatever's coming to him, and he'll kind of lay it down. And so in particular for Woman, the way this happened is the band was together. I wasn't there. I don't even think I was in the band at this point, but they were jamming out and they came up with this music, the song, the musical part. And so when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a great song. It's bluesy, it's funky, it's upbeat, it's fun. And I immediately was hearing the woman, I am woman kind of come through. Um, and it happened pretty fast. So I write most of the lyrics and the heart, vocal parts and stuff like that. And so writing Woman, it just was one of those songs that kind of came fast, and it was just like, oh, this is just what it wants to be, and I'm very like I want to empower everybody, of course, but I love my girls. And so Woman itself, the song itself I kind of describe it as like, it's a little tongue in cheek because it's fun, but I'm also very serious about what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a fun song to listen to. It's anthemic, it's super powerful. And I always want to explain to people, I think sometimes people don't get it. Where if you say it's a female empowerment song, it's not about getting something we don't deserve. It's
Mhm.
just, you know, we just we want the same treatment.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
all. We just want the same treatment. If we suck, we'll go. If we're
Absolutely.
good, recognize us. So I think, and the word recognize,
Exactly.
oh my God, what a powerful word. So recognize, I would imagine, James, came from you. Did you come up with the
It's,
recognize? Like
yeah,
that's
it
so
did.
impactful.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny you say that too, because yes, that word, I kind of just throw that word around and I would use it a lot with my bestie, like recognize, and so I kind of threw it in there when we were recording jokingly, and because it was one of my a catchphrase, they were like, oh no, we're gonna keep that in there. I was like, okay, and it became this thing. But yeah, it is again like one of those statements that it's just about giving respect, recognize like you own your stuff or you give the respect to somebody else.
Yeah, yeah, that acknowledgement, that acknowledgement. The record is great too. As I said, it takes you on a journey with so many just different feels and different vibes. That's got to be awesome for you as an artist too, to not have to create something where everything sounds the same. I can't take everything sounding the same. It's like my one crutch in life sometimes where I'm like, oh, but everything sounds the same. We don't need the same record 57 times. Like this really showcases, I think, who the band is. That's a pretty fearless thing to do. Did you feel fearless or was it just super like organic the way it all came to be?
I wish I could say I was so fearless, but I'm definitely not, like especially writing and pouring out some of these songs get really deep and personal. And it's not like all about me necessarily, but just being able to pour your soul and experiences that you've had into song and put it out there. It feels very vulnerable, and it's scary. But I've learned that it's important to move through the fear, because on the other side of fear is usually something great. And so, yeah, I just moved through it. And I will say as well, I agree, like it's so awesome to be able to create and not have to be like, oh, we have to do it this way, or it has to be a country song, or it has to be a rock song. Because I do feel like as artists, everyone is so multi, just kind of, we're not just one thing.
I think it's really, really nice that you guys are deciding to sort of do this and do it your own way. And it's so, there's a lot of straight ahead, just upbeat rock tempo kind of songs that take us back to the organic roots, I think, of what we grew up listening to. And you've really checked that box. And you're one of the really unique artists, I think, that's female fronted these days that has done that.
Thank you.
There's no niche, it's not like a niche project or a niche band.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that speaks to, like I said before, everyone has different influences and we all come from different, musical backgrounds. We have George Mitchell, who is touring with Diana Ross. He's been her, piano player for decades
That's where
now.
those funky keys come
Yeah.
in. I can hear so much of that R&B kind of feel too.
Absolutely. We have
Yeah.
jazz players, rock musicians. I mean, they all have their thing and they're all monster musicians, so
Yeah.
I feel very honored to be able to share this musical journey with them and be
Yeah,
supportive.
Troy really knew what he was doing when he put this group of people, this group of people together. And wow, I think it's a really lucky find that he found you too. I mean,
Thank you.
if he was
Thank
on this Zoom right now, I would be like, dude, you could have been looking for like 5 to 10 years for somebody to deliver these songs the way that Jamie delivers these songs. So talk to me about 2026. I hear that you guys have new music. You're like already writing and getting ready to maybe put some new music together. Will you be touring? What does the year look like for you?
Yes, so it's exciting. As of now, we are currently writing and recording our second album. We are nearing the end. We're a little bit more than halfway done. I'm actually flying up there and record some more vocals. And so that is our focus right now, is just getting the second album done. And once that's complete, we're looking, I think, at a release around September. I don't think there's an exact date yet, but that's what we're kind of aiming for. And then we're going to be doing some shows, which I'm really excited about. So we do have some shows that are coming up at the end of the year. And then after that, hopefully we'll start touring more and getting out there, which is where I'm really excited about.
Oh man, and it's where you shine. It's
Thank you.
where you shine, delivering these songs live to an audience and just getting that crowd organically and raising that fan base. And I think that that's where people are really going to see what the band is about and just become forever fans. Jamie, it has been so great meeting you. Jamie
You
Lynch
too.
from OG8, Original 8. Amazing to have you on the Carr Stereo podcast. Love what you and the band are doing. So looking forward to seeing you live this year. You got to come to the Northeast. I'm right near New York City, so we got to get you over here for a show. I will be the first in line at the venue that day. And thank you so much for spending some time with me on Carr Stereo. So grateful for it.
Oh my gosh, it is absolutely my honor and pleasure. Thank you for having me. You're awesome, and thank you for everything.
You don't need to be in your car to listen to Carr Stereo. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Rob Moorhead. TC and I will see you next time.